The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 stands as one of the year's most eagerly awaited foldable smartphones, but recent revelations have triggered significant concerns among enthusiasts, and the culprit is the performance of the Exynos 2500 processor. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 and, more specifically, the underwhelming benchmark results tied to its speculated Exynos 2500 model. A brand new Geekbench listing has emerged, and sadly, the figures reveal a familiar and disheartening pattern. If you've been keeping up with the ongoing Exynos versus Snapdragon saga, this development may not surprise you. The Galaxy Z Flip 7 equipped with the Exynos 2500 has allegedly recorded a mere 122 in single-core and 7,563 in multi-core scores on Geekbench. While the model tested includes 12 GB of RAM and runs Android 16, the chipset itself still trails far behind its rivals. To put that in context, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 Elite, used in the Galaxy S25 series, achieves a staggering 3,220 in single-core and surpasses 10,200 in multi-core benchmarks. That's a substantial disparity in performance. And to make matters worse, someone on social media noted that even Apple's A14 chip from 2020, a 5-year-old processor, delivers a higher single-core score of 2,079. That outpaces what the latest Exynos 2500 is managing today. Samsung supporters have long had a love-hate relationship with Exynos. Many hoped the next-gen Exynos 2500 from Samsung's internal Sunnyvale team would finally close the gap, but unfortunately, that doesn't appear to be the case. And it's not solely about benchmark results. These numbers translate into tangible performance, impacting everything from mobile gaming and multitasking to energy efficiency and thermal control. Interestingly, the Exynos 2500's multi-core scores are somewhat in line with Apple's A17 Pro, released in 2023. That chip scored roughly 7,141 in multi-core tests. So at least there's that. But still, in today's highly competitive smartphone arena, being comparable to a 2-year-old processor simply doesn't cut it. So, what are the implications for the Galaxy Z Flip 7? Let's be clear, the Flip 7 won't be a bad device. With 12 GB of RAM and Android 16, it will still offer a premium foldable experience. However, in terms of raw performance, this version won't be winning any awards. For users prioritizing speed, gaming, and flagship-grade power, the Snapdragon model, if available in select markets, will undoubtedly be the better option. But the broader issue here is the future of Exynos as a platform. Samsung is already developing the Exynos 2600, which is expected to power the Galaxy S26 range in various regions. Given the weak results from the 2500, there's growing skepticism around what comes next. If the 2600 underdelivers, Samsung could face a serious setback, especially as Qualcomm looks to raise prices on its upcoming Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 2. There's also a geopolitical angle at play, with former President Trump renewing hostilities towards Apple and potentially enforcing stricter trade policies. This could lead to increased smartphone pricing across the board, especially in the US. Samsung may be keen to reduce reliance on Qualcomm, but unless Exynos can rise to the challenge, the brand risks being caught in a difficult position. Thankfully, leaks indicate that the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will launch globally with the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset. That's a relief, as it ensures Samsung's flagship foldable will have the performance to justify its premium price tag. But as for the Flip 7, there's growing discontent among fans. Many are accusing Samsung of cutting corners and questioning why the company persists with Exynos when the results remain consistently disappointing. Here's the bottom line. The Galaxy Z Flip 7 might still be an enjoyable, stylish foldable with a refined user experience. However, for performance-focused users, the Exynos 2500 model is already a letdown, at least on paper. And that's not just bad news for this particular handset. It casts a shadow over Samsung's entire chipset roadmap. If performance issues aren't resolved ahead of the Exynos 2600's release, the Galaxy S26 might represent the final straw for many loyalists. Samsung must now decide, Can Exynos truly lead the brand into the future, or is it a failed